Have you ever looked at a graphics card box and just felt completely lost? Like you're trying to read some kind of secret code? Well, you're in the right place, because today we are cracking that code.
I mean, you see stuff like GTX 1650, RTX 4060, and then RX 6600. It all seems totally random, doesn't it? It's one of the most confusing parts of building or buying a PC, but I promise there's actually a method to the madness. You see, the secret is that there's a simple pattern hiding right there in plain sight. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Stick with me, and by the end of this quick explainer, you'll be able to decode these names in just a few seconds. But first things first, let's do a super quick refresh. Before we can really get the name, we need to be crystal clear on what this thing actually does. So your GPU, or graphics processing unit, is basically the visual powerhouse of your computer. It's doing all the heavy lifting whenever you're playing a game, editing a video, or working with anything graphically intense. Simply put, a better GPU means everything looks smoother and runs faster. All right, let's start cracking the code with one of the biggest players in the game, NVIDIA. Their naming system is the perfect place for us to start. Okay, so you'll mostly see two main flavors from them, GTX and RTX. The easiest way to think about it is this. GTX is the older family, and RTX is the newer, more powerful one. The big trick up RTX's sleeve is something called ray tracing, which is really just a fancy way of saying it can create incredibly realistic lighting and shadows in games. So, to make this real, let's grab a popular modern card as our example, the RTX 4060. We're going to pull this name apart, number by number, and see what's inside.
First up, those first two numbers, the 40. This is maybe the most important part. It tells you the generation. This card is part of the 40 series. The one before it was the 30 series, like an RTX 3060, and before that, the 20 series. A higher number just means it's a newer generation.
Now for the second part, those last two numbers, the 60. This tells you the performance tier inside that generation. It shows you how powerful this card is compared to its brothers and sisters from the same family. And the hierarchy is pretty straightforward. A 50 is for entry-level stuff, a 60 is that solid mid-range sweet spot for most people, then you get to 70, 80, and 90, and you're talking about some serious high-end performance. So an RTX 4070 is going to be a good bit stronger than an RTX 4060. Makes sense, right?
Now, here's the really cool part. This isn't just some NVIDIA-only secret. Once you understand this logic, you've basically cracked the code for their main competitor, too. Yep, if you look at AMD's cards, you'll see names like RX 6600 or RX 7700. And guess what? It's the exact same logic. The first number tells you the generation, and the next numbers tell you the performance level. An RX 7600 is newer than an RX 6600. It's that simple.
So if you remember just one thing from all of this, make it this sentence right here. This is the master key. Generation first, performance tier second. Say it with me. Generation first, performance tier second.
Okay, so you have the key, you know the code, but knowing the pattern is only half the battle. Let's talk about a couple of really common traps that a lot of beginners fall into. Here are the two big ones you gotta watch out for. First, just because a card is newer doesn't mean it's automatically better than an older high-end card. And second, and this one is huge, a GPU in a laptop is not the same as the desktop version, even if they have the exact same name. So why is that? Well, think about it. Laptops have to cram everything into a tiny, thin space, so they have to worry a lot about power and heat. A laptop RTX 4060 is designed to sip power and stay cool. The desktop version, it gets way more power and has big fans, so it will almost always perform better. The bottom line is, the device it's in matters a lot.
All right, we've covered the code, the universal pattern that works for pretty much everyone, and the big traps to avoid. Let's wrap this all up into one simple, final cheat sheet.
Here it is, your 4-step process. First, just see what family it's in, GTX, RTX, or RX. Second, look at that first number for the generation. Third, check the last numbers for its performance level. And fourth, and this is the most important step, seriously, do not skip this. Always check independent reviews to see how the card actually performs. The name gets you most of the way there, but the real-world benchmarks tell the final story. So there you have it. GPU names aren't so scary after all, are they? They're just following a simple, logical pattern. Now that you've got the key, the next time you see that jumble of letters and numbers, you'll know exactly what you're looking at.